So you're thinking of moving to Dallas, Texas? Well, today we're going to dive into a hot topic that has a lot of people talking. Why are so many people leaving Dallas, Texas? Whether you're considering a move to Dallas or maybe you're just curious about the current trends we're seeing in our housing market, well, this video is going to give you a comprehensive look at what's going on. So grab a cup of coffee or an ice cold Diet Coke, in your Stanley cup, of course, and get comfortable. What's up, everyone? I'm Kristen Carpentier, your go-to realtor for all things Dallas-Fort Worth. Welcome back to my channel where we talk about living here in Dallas, Texas. If you are new here to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you never miss an update when we are dropping new content every single week. So first up, let's look at some numbers. Dallas has been a major hub of growth for decades. The city of Dallas has nearly 1.3 million residents as of 2024, but in recent years, we've actually seen a slight dip in those numbers. Between 2020 and 2021, about 15,000 people left the city. I know, with those numbers, a small drop in the hat, of course. It has been quite unusual for Dallas, which has historically seen consistent population growth. However, when we look outside of just Dallas proper, the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area is still growing and is now home to over 7.6 million people. One of the primary reasons that people are leaving Dallas is because of overcrowding. As Dallas has grown, so has the traffic and the hustle and bustle of urban life. Many of the longtime residents feel that the city is becoming too congested. Imagine driving to work every single morning and being stuck in bumper-to-bumper traffic for hours. It's stressful and time-consuming, not to mention that the roads aren't as wide or well taken care of as some of the other roads that are out in the suburbs. And of course, I only say that from experience. I feel like every single time I have had to drive to downtown, there is some sort of major road construction in the middle of the city, and I'm having to fight with some huge potholes. But maybe I just don't know how to pick the right roads to drive on. The ever-expanding urban sprawl is another factor. The city has expanded quite rapidly, actually, and because of it, it's leading to longer commutes and a more divided sense of community. If you happen to live in Dallas, but you might work in one of the suburbs, or vice versa, your daily commute can be a real headache. This has led to a lot of people who want to seek out some more quieter, less crowded areas to live. And since a lot of companies are located out in the suburbs around the Dallas area, more people are wanting to live somewhere that's a little bit closer to work. So for example, suburbs like Forney, for example, offer a more relaxed environment. Forney is located about 20 miles just straight east of downtown Dallas, and it's a growing town with affordable housing and a strong sense of community. Here you can find homes that are starting around $250,000, and you can even find newer construction homes for around $350,000. It's a great place for those who want to escape the hustle and bustle of a major city without actually having to move too far away. Now, another significant factor is the cost of living. While Dallas isn't as expensive as cities like maybe New York or San Francisco, for example, its prices are still on the rise. Our housing prices and our property taxes have continued to increase, making it harder for some of the families to actually be able to afford living here. Now, for example, the median home price in Dallas is now around $375,000, which is quite high compared to other parts of Texas. Property taxes in Dallas can also be quite steep. Texas ranks as having the fourth highest property taxes in the country, and for many of the families, these costs are really just simply unsustainable. Now, there are areas like Princeton, which is located northeast of Dallas and just east of the city of McKinney, and there offers more affordable housing options. Here you can find decent homes starting at around $250,000, and Princeton kind of provides more of a rural charm with some easy access to some of the growing areas that businesses are actually moving to, like McKinney and Allen and Plano, for example. Now, that makes it a great choice for those looking to save on housing costs while still being within commuting distance to some of the more popular areas here in the Metroplex. Now, let's talk a little bit about our traffic. Dallas is notorious for its traffic congestion. especially during rush hour. But I tell you what, there are sections of Dallas where it doesn't matter the time of day, there is going to be a lot of traffic no matter what. And you just pray that there isn't some sort of accident that's going to make matters even worse. And the city's layout makes having a car almost really a necessity. Now, we do have some public transportation, but for most people, it actually isn't very feasible. We have the DART system, so while it is fairly extensive, it doesn't cover all of the areas here in the Metroplex very effectively, which still leaves many of our residents needing to rely on their cars. And this car dependency can really add significant stress to a person's daily life. Imagine spending hours each week sitting in rush hour traffic, trying to get to and from work, and it really ends up being no wonder that so many people are looking for alternative places to live. So for those who can't stand the traffic and don't have to worry so much about commuting all the time, moving to a smaller town like, for example, maybe Van Alstyne or Sanger, maybe that's a good solution. Both cities are about an hour's drive from downtown Dallas and have populations under 10,000 residents. Sanger is northwest of downtown Dallas up the 35 freeway, and Van Alstyne is to the northeast up the 75 freeway. Homes in these two particular cities are more affordable as well, and they're starting at around $200,000. So when you're living further outside the city, it offers a quieter lifestyle and significantly less traffic. But you can still get to some of the other bigger cities for what you may need on an everyday basis, and those areas might be a little bit easier to get to than having to drive all the way towards downtown Dallas. All right, now the next fun one that we're going to talk about is our weather. Dallas weather can be pretty extreme. We have
Man, it is hot out here!
a long, hot summer that can be brutal, and we're no strangers to severe weather, like tornadoes and hailstorms. And these conditions can be a deal breaker for some, especially those coming from some, much more milder climates. And this spring and summer so far has been no exception. In the past 12 years that we have lived here, we haven't seen rainstorms like this before. Granted, there have been a couple of years where we've had quite a bit of rain, but this year, oh my heavens, it's like hurricane type rains have come out of nowhere so many times that we have lost count. It dumps a bunch of rain, 1 to 5 inches, for example, and you never even see it coming. It just doesn't help too that this is the time of year that we finally decided to actually redo our entire yard's landscaping. We are currently on round 3 and we still need to go back and make some repairs once we actually feel that it might be safe to do so. We had so much rain that came all at once, and honestly, it really just washed all of our hard work away. It was absolutely crazy, especially since it wasn't just one time that it happened, but it kept happening over and over again, it seemed. And yes, we also did get a tornado this year that did touch down about an hour north of us in the Valley View area here in the Dallas metro. Now, I know there has been worse tornado damage in other parts of the country, but this one does end up hitting a little bit closer to home, and it caused some significant damage, and some people even did end up dying because of it. So just kind of throwing that out there if you hadn't seen the news. Yes, it does happen. You don't really see it very often, but unfortunately we did see some of it this year. And speaking of our crazy weather, for instance, I also had clients move here from the Denver, Colorado area, and they were shocked by the difference of the summers. In Denver, the summers are hot and quite dry, but still relatively manageable with the occasional rain showers. Not to mention, you can escape up to the mountains to cool off for the day if you absolutely need to get out of the heat. But here in Dallas, it can be months on end with triple-digit temperatures and no rain, and of course our lovely high humidity. This can make outdoor activities quite uncomfortable and sometimes even dangerous for some if you're not properly prepared. Additionally, the weather can also impact your home. Our soil here in Dallas is mostly made up of clay, which expands and contracts with the changing weather. This can cause foundation issues in older homes, leading to some pretty costly repairs if you need to do those foundation repairs. And if you're not prepared for these weather extremes, it can kind of come as quite a shock to you if you haven't had to deal with it before. Now, let's also talk about some construction issues. The rapid growth that we've had here in Dallas has led to continuous and seemingly never-ending construction projects. While development is a sign of progress, of course, it also means dealing with constant noise, the road closures, and infrastructure issues. And that is not just in the Dallas proper area. The construction also isn't just for housing. New shopping centers and road expansions are a common sight all around the city. While this is really great for future development, it can be a significant inconvenience for current residents. The continuous noise, the detours, and the delays can add stress to your everyday life if you're having to deal with it. So for those who prefer a more settled environment, smaller towns further outside the metro area can be very appealing. These areas typically have less ongoing construction, providing a more peaceful living environment. Now, one of my more popular conversations with clients is about education here in the Dallas area. For the families that are looking to relocate here, education is really one of their top priorities. While Dallas has some great schools, many families are moving to the suburbs like Frisco and Allen, which are known for their excellent school districts and much more family-friendly environments. These areas offer a better quality of life for raising their children, with more green spaces, parks, and community activities. In Frisco, for example, the schools are very highly rated and the community offers numerous amenities for families. They have parks and lots of recreational facilities and community events. Frisco also provides a much more vibrant, family-friendly environment, especially being the headquarters of none other than the Dallas Cowboys, home to the FC Dallas soccer team, and even the Frisco Rough Riders minor league baseball teams for starters. Homes here start in the mid $300,000 range, but the investment is well worth it for the quality of life that the city offers. Obviously, price points do range up into the multi-millions in these areas, but you can surprisingly find some lower and more affordable options as well. All right, next up is crime. Now, crime is definitely a concern in any of the major cities throughout the country, and Dallas really is no exception. Although it's not as high as in some other big cities, the crime rate has been a factor for some families that are choosing to move. Suburbs with lower crime rates, such as Plano and Flower Mound, do provide a safer environment for those looking to escape urban crime. Now, Plano, for instance, has a crime rate that is significantly lower than the national average. It's a large suburb with around 290,000 residents, and it's known for its strong community spirit and well-established family-friendly neighborhoods. Homes in Plano start under $300,000, and they do average around $500,000 and offer a safe and the welcoming environment that people are looking for their families. All right, and who doesn't love talking about taxes? Property taxes in Texas can be quite high, and Dallas is, of course, no exception to the rule. The state uses a desktop appraisal method, which can sometimes feel pretty unfair and pretty arbitrary. This has caused financial strain for many of the homeowners out there, pushing them to look for more tax-friendly areas. Now, over the last couple of years, we've really seen these numbers increase, and not by just a little bit, but for some, by a lot. For example, a homeowner might see their property taxes increase by 15 to 20% in a single year without any physical changes to their property. And because of it, this can significantly increase a person's monthly mortgage payments, making it difficult for some of the families to be able to budget it. That's why I always recommend that you ask your realtor to do a market analysis for you to help you in protesting your property taxes, because you can do that here. That is something that I help assist my clients with, and granted, once in a while it doesn't work, but for the majority of people who have asked me, we have been able to help lower their tax assessment of their property values and help save them at least a little bit on their property taxes. And while Texas has no state income tax, of course, the high property taxes can offset this benefit, leading many individuals to actually reconsider wanting to live in Dallas. All right, last item of business that I want to touch on is the political and cultural shifts that we're seeing in a major city. Now, Dallas, like any large city, has its own unique political and cultural climate. Some of the residents feel that the rapid changes and the influx of all of the new people from other parts of the country are really starting to alter the city's identity. This has led some people to actually want to seek out some of the communities that really do align more closely with their values and their lifestyle. Now, in suburbs like Salina, for example, they offer a more small town atmosphere. It has a pretty tight-knit community, and here you're going to be able to find some affordable housing and a much slower pace of life, which is what the residents really love about it and why they want to move there. Homes in Salina do start around $400,000, providing the type of environment for those that are looking to escape the changing dynamics of a big major city. So whether you are considering making the move here to Dallas or Fort Worth or any of the other popular surrounding cities, there is certainly a lot of things to think about before you do so. Do you love the energy you get by living in a big city, or do you love something a little bit more quieter on the outskirts of town? But regardless of where you may be considering making a move here in our bustling metropolis, there really seems to be something for anybody looking to make that move here. Or maybe after all, it just might not really be the right fit for you. But if I can help you answer any of these questions on where to live and what you can expect, don't hesitate to reach out. You can call, you can text, you can email. It will actually be me answering those phone calls. So any questions at all, don't hesitate to reach out. And until next time, take care.